Jennifer Myhre of the ALS Association, here to talk all things respite.
Yeah, thanks, Anne. I'm really happy to be here, and it's really good to see your faces. And some of you I know or recognize from support group meetings or respite conversations. So very nice to see you and be here. I'm going to begin by, and just excuse me as I sort of fumble through this. I thought I had this all. There we go. Okay. Hopefully you can see my screen. Can I get a thumbs up, Anne, if that's the case? Okay.
Yes, but it's not in presentation mode.
Oh, it's not. Are you sure?
Mm-mm.
Oh, it is on my.
Oh, okay. Well, we can try making it full screen. That's it, because we can see all your tabs across the top.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Otherwise, it's pretty clear.
I don't know that I can do that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. All right. So, here we go. I'm going to, before I begin, it's not a very long presentation, so I'm going to invite you to hold your questions until the end, and I'm more than happy to take as many questions as you have at that time. As Anne said, my name is Jennifer Myhre, and I'm a care services coordinator here at the ALS Association, Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota chapter. And I'm here today to talk with you about our Caregiver Respite Program. And as the name implies, this is a program that is specifically for the caregiver of the person with ALS. Specifically, it is for that caregiver who lives with the person with ALS and who is the full-time caregiver. So it's very specific to that type of caregiver. And the purpose of the program is to provide that person a break from their full-time caregiving. And so for some people, that means getting caught up on their medical appointments. It may mean going out for coffee on a regular basis with a friend. Whatever is nourishing and helps you to sustain the great caregiving that you're doing is sort of what this program is looking to help out with. So how do we do that? In most cases, we are partnering with a local licensed home care agency, and we pay that agency to send in a professional caregiver so that they can be with the person with ALS so that they are safe and have their basic needs met. Because these professional caregivers are CNAs or home health aides, not nurses, mind you, but CNAs or home health aides, while they're there, they can also often help with some other things. Those things include what we call activities of daily living, or ADLs. Activities of daily living are those things that we all do every day. So they're things like getting in and out of bed, going to the toilet, eating, bathing, showering, grooming. So besides basic needs, oftentimes some of these other things can be assisted with during a respite shift, which can be of great help to the caregiver. So one of the things I like to talk about, because it can get confusing sometimes, is that if there's time Available in a shift, the CNA or home health aide, the professional caregiver, can also do some very, very light housekeeping. And I stress light housekeeping because it's easy to confuse these folks sometimes with professional house cleaners, which they are not. So light housekeeping includes things like assisting with cleaning up, picking up, surface cleaning that is related to the types of cares they may be providing for the person with ALS. So for example, if during a respite shift, a professional caregiver assists the person with ALS with a simple meal in the kitchen, then they could also wash those dishes, sweep the floor, wipe down countertops and the table, maybe take out the garbage, those kinds of things. Another common thing that a professional respite caregiver can do is the laundry of the person with ALS, including things like changing out that person's bedding, which can be kind of helpful each week. Some tips for success when using the program include flexibility. So the more flexible you can be in choosing your respite shift as a caregiver, which is typically once a week for 3 or 4 hours at a time, the more of an easy time the home care agency will have to staff that respite shift. So the more open you are to different days and different times makes that whole process easier. And then once you land on a day and a time, it's really helpful to be consistent. So from week to week, to stick with that day and time that works for you. It does not mean that you can't change that up to meet your needs. You absolutely can explore that with the agency, of course. It's just helpful to be consistent when using it so that the agency has the ability to have to be as consistent as possible in staffing that for you. It's helpful to, when you're using this program or just receiving home care in general, to see the same faces coming through the door as much as possible. So this will help with that. So that's a very rudimentary overview of the program. And so we'll get to your questions in just a few moments. But before we do that, if any of you have been thinking about checking the respite program out, if this is enough to entice you yourself or to talk with your caregiver, here's how you would start that process. You would visit our website, which I'm going to take us to right now, hopefully. And once you find our website at www.alsmn.org, you would go to local care services, and there we are. And over to the left, there's a button called respite. And clicking on that, it brings you to our respite landing page. And if you scroll down, there's an application that says how to apply here. And this is where the caregiver applies for the program. So it's a pretty short form to complete that includes information about contact information, physician information. And this is all information that eventually gets sent to our partnering agencies so that they have some information to go on when beginning to reach out to you and to work with you. It also serves as a release of information form that allows the ALS Association to communicate pretty freely with that agency about you so that they can most easily serve you. So once that's completed, it should only take a couple of minutes. You would click on Submit Survey. And I point that out because that's an easy one to miss. Sometimes people end up hitting one of these, and then the application starts over. Once you do that, the application comes to me, and I get in touch with the caregiver to continue the conversation. We set up a time to talk about next steps and your questions. So something else to show you on this respite landing page is these frequently asked questions here at the top. So if you click on that link, it brings you to about 3.5 pages of what we have deemed as the most common questions that people have about the program. Anything from how do all caregivers qualify for the respite program to can caregivers of veterans access the family respite program? The answer is yes. So I do encourage you to check out that page as well, just to get as much information as you can about the program and to determine whether or not you think it may be a good fit and make sense for you to apply. So with that, what I'm going to do is now take us to one final thing, which is a short video, 3 or 4 minutes at most, that if I've done my job well here today, will kind of talk about some things that hopefully I've touched on already. So let me pull that up and see if I can, make it full page here. Here we go.
There's no audio.
There's no audio. You can't hear the video?
No.
Okay.
I can't.
I can, but that doesn't mean anything.
Try it again. Maybe I just had my volume too low. No.
Okay. I don't know why that is. So,
I'm gonna,
always learning. What you would have all heard and seen is an example of a family who utilizes the respite program and how it's made a difference in their lives. It was interesting to hear, I think it was Milt, the person with ALS, reflect on his feelings about his wife, his caregiver, using the program, and how he really was the one encouraging her using the program. He talked about the amount of care that he needed, which he talked about as being quite a lot, and also felt like she needed, this sounds familiar to what I heard Andre say, that she needed a break from him. So that was interesting to hear about, and nice to hear how the program benefited the both of them. So, Anne.
Thank you, Jennifer. I'm going to stop recording so that we can take some questions.
Great.
And if you are watching this recording at a later date, which like 100 people did last month, please email Jennifer at jennifer@alsmn.org for more information.
Right.